Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Now and Then Some podcast with Robin and Kaley. I'm your host, Robin.
And I'm your other host, Kaley.
And here we talk about everything from now and then.
And then some.
That's right. So what are we talking about this week, Kales?
Well, I've got to admit something.
What?
So, we were talking about the House of Dragons trailers and all of that.
Yeah.
I have already binged the entirety of season 1.
What? But it doesn't come out till like June.
I know, but then I started it.
Why did you start it? It was just on the brain?
It was on the brain. I kept seeing everything with the trailers, and I was like, oh my God, no. And then I was like, okay, but I'm going to slow burn it. Oh, no. I watched one episode, and I was like,
slow burn that.
I'm in the I'm locked in for 3 days, and I finished it in 3 days, and it is amazing.
Yeah.
But yeah, now I'm just excited for season 2. We still have a couple months.
Was there anything that you didn't remember, or was it all pretty much you?
You know me, I have a pretty good memory.
Yeah.
There were actually a couple things that I caught that I didn't catch the first time I watched it.
Ooh.
Like, you know how in Game of Thrones they have like little things that were said in the earlier seasons that then tied back. And even in season 1, things that were said or hinted at the beginning happened at the end that I did not even think of before when I was watching it. So that was cool. 10 out of 10 recommend, like I always have. I've already binged it, so I'm ready for season 2.
You're making me want to watch it.
And I'm like, I know they're going to drop more trailers and more hints and more stills. So I'm like, I'll still be getting some content for over the next couple months, and I'll be really pumped for season 2. It was all over everything. We had talked about it, and I was like, oh, I just want to watch it again. And then once I started, I couldn't stop.
Once you pop, the fun don't stop.
Yep.
That's what they say.
Yep.
Cool.
So that was my binge.
Okay.
And I heard that you watched Warrior, which I talked about on the last episode. So that's the MMA movie with Tom Hardy. I need your thoughts. I need to hear it.
I thought it was wonderful. It was really good. It was a little late, so kind of a little fuzzy toward the end there. I think I was kind of fading in and out, but overall it was a little slow to start, I will say. Like, it took me a while to get really hooked. But Nate really enjoyed it, and you were right about Tom Hardy.
He's a beast in that movie. Like, he's
it's definitely
and,
it's definitely one that if it were on again, I would watch it again. I'm not sure if I would seek it out again.
Oh my God. Not me. I watch it all the time. I love it.
Okay.
I cry like a baby at the dad part.
Yeah.
I would just cry like a baby.
Yeah. Yeah. That was tough. Like, just all the all the feels.
Yep.
So yeah, I would recommend it as well.
Okay, great.
Yeah, and speaking of recommendations,
we got to talk about the new segment we're going to have.
Yes, our new segment, which we talked about last time, where we have to watch something that the other person recommends to them, movie or, short documentary, and then come back and give it our thoughts, give it our recap, our little reviews. So what are some name ideas that we got?
I was struggling here.
Yeah.
So please understand that I don't really want to stand by these, but this is all I could come up with.
We did get one submission.
We did. Thank you. Shout out, Shelby. Love you.
Thanks, Shelby.
She had required recs. I had cheer review instead of peer review. Like if we cheers our little glasses, which we don't have today, but
It's cute.
And then I had Wreck-N review, like Wreck-It Ralph kind of vibe.
Yeah.
Wreck-N review.
I like it.
That's all I had.
Yeah.
Not great, but
I didn't try to think of any, but we do appreciate Shelby submitting one.
Yes,
thank you, Shel.
Thank you.
So we just asked AI, and then it came up with quite a few because we asked it to come up with quite a few. And our favorite was
Watch It, Weirdo.
So that's what we are going to call that segment, which we will do later on, where we typically would do a fun segment. So you can look out for our new segment,
Watch It, Weirdo,
every episode, and let us know what you think.
I love it.
And then nobody submitted a punishment, which fair. I couldn't think of a single thing.
I struggled on this too. I was like, me not using AI. This is just my brain. And I was like, that person gets to pick your outfit or crazy hairstyle for the next episode. Or, okay, you have to try to talk like Yoda in the next segment, which would be so hard.
So hard that would be.
But how funny would that be?
Let's hear your Yoda.
No. I wouldn't do it. See, I wasn't even thinking.
No accent for you?
Not the accent. I was thinking having to do the switching of the order of the way you say things. I wasn't even thinking about the full Yoda voice. So that was pretty good.
The sentence you switch.
Okay,
pretty
Robin's
good, right?
pretty good. Okay, never mind. We're not doing that because I'm going to look like a fool
I
compared
don't think
to Robin.
I'd be able to make a full segment. Like I'd probably abandon it pretty quickly because it's just, you have to really think.
You got to concentrate.
Not easy on throat, it would be.
It's so good.
So anyway, we asked AI once again.
Thank God.
Shout out Gemini, and it came up with this one. So it's called Social Shame.
Social shame.
We're just going to name it Social Shame.
Social shame.
So if somebody doesn't watch it, they have to publicly acknowledge their transgression on social media with some sort of apology video.
Okay.
And it's open to interpretation. So the question that I had for you is, does that movie assignment carry over to the next time, or do they get a brand new one and then we just forget about that one? Maybe a case-by-case basis?
What do you mean? Oh, no, I feel
like, let's say that you hadn't watched Practical Magic today. You have to make an apology video about it.
Right.
But do you still, is Practical Magic
for
next
you still
week?
Want me to watch it, so now I'm just got double to watch.
Oh, we've got 2 then. Seems like a lot.
Well, then maybe you should be watching. Well, unless you want to say, okay, then it just carries over and I don't have a new one to watch. I've got just an extension.
Yeah, but you can
Would
only
you rather do that?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I think you only get one chance. Like after that, then you're getting triple.
Deal.
Yeah.
Okay, I like that.
Okay. Cool.
All right, so watch it, Weirdo, and social shame.
Social shame.
Okay, great.
I love that for us.
It's going to be so fun saying that every time.
So fun. All right. Shall we get into one that's easier to say?
Yes. And then?
And then.
Okay, my and then.
Mm-hmm.
Times tables.
Times tables.
Or multiplication in general,
Multiplication.
I guess. You know, we talked about our elementary school songs.
Yeah.
And then I was thinking about elementary school and like iconic things that stick out, and times tables is one. Like,
oh my gosh.
I just feel like I can not tell you how many times I remember sitting there and them timing us. Mm-hmm. You have 1 minute, get as many as you can done, and there's like 100 problems on the sheet.
Or just reciting them out loud,
or reciting them. We used to do, so I remember this memory burned in my brain, core memory. In 4th grade, Mr. Zabala was my teacher.
Mm-hmm.
I had a male teacher for the first time in 4th grade. Loved him. Mm-hmm. He was a math teacher, math and science. So he put us up in front of the class, and we chose to do boys versus girls. Mm-hmm. And we lined up, and it would be head to head.
Oh,
and you'd go up and you'd have to hit a buzzer.
Can't do boys versus girls anymore.
Why not?
I don't know. I just feel like now it's like, well, some kids might be a different one.
Oh, you're right. You're right. You're right.
Or none.
You're right.
Yeah.
You're correct.
Mm-hmm.
Back in the day, but yeah, we did.
Yeah.
Back in the day, we did. And we would line up, and then we would all go. And then I remember like we were tied at the end, and they were like, pick a representative for sudden death. And the girls picked me.
Nice.
Because I'm just so good at like, my brain just works in the math way.
And you have a very good memory.
And I have a really good memory. So memorizing things for me is very easy. I wouldn't say that I have a photogenic memory, but I have a close to photogenic memory.
Yeah.
Because I will literally picture the textbook page in my head.
There's a word for that. It starts with an E. End up. I don't know. I don't have it.
She don't have it.
I don't have it.
Yeah, anyway, so I don't have a photographic memory, but I do have that ability to recall like a certain thing I saw. Yeah. Kind of. Anyway, so times tables, but I feel like kids don't do that anymore.
I don't think they do. I mean, the last time I helped Sawyer with her homework last week, it was multiplication. It had like a grid, like 4 boxes stacked on top of each other, and then like 5 lines going down the side, and then like 5 lines going across the bottom, and that was their hundreds, 10, and ones. Yeah.
Do you not feel like that's even more complicated than
that's
just
not
having
even,
to remember?
Yeah, that's
them?
not even.
I don't know.
That's not even the only new kind of math. I've had to Google it. I've
I
sent
know.
you stuff.
Well, we've talked about it. I feel like on the pod of like just they do things a completely different way.
Yeah.
Remember, you brought me a question of Sawyer's, like what, and
your mom didn't even know.
My mom, who's a 4th grade teacher, was like, I don't even know what this is saying, and I was like, I figured it out eventually. I did.
Yep.
But it took some time.
It should be very straightforward. Let me ask you this: did you do the 9s on your hands?
Yeah. Well, yeah, I learned the 9s on my hand, but I didn't need to because again, I knew them.
Yeah.
But I did learn that trick.
Yeah, Sawyer. It doesn't stick.
Wow.
I know.
My sister, she's going to hate me. She knows I'm about to talk about this too. If she's listening, she's going to be like, are you kidding me? She struggles. She does not have the math brain.
Yeah.
And she doesn't. did it and doesn't have her times tables memorized. So my family will mess with her sometimes. My parents will still quiz her just for funsies.
Oh, poor Kelsey.
And she hesitates and we all laugh. It's awful.
Oh, man.
And she's like, y'all stop it. She gets so mad.
I struggle with some of like
she struggles.
The middle ones. Like hit me with like a 8 times 6 and I'm like, you know what she would 48. If you gave her 8 times 6, she'd go 6 times 8 is 48 because like that helps her remember stuff better. It's like little stuff like that. Anyway, it's just hilarious because we were just so different in that. But I can remember so many times where they would stick the sheet of paper down and they would say, you have 60 seconds, do as many as you can. And everyone's like furiously riding the frenzy. Yeah. Love it. That's a good one.
Thank you.
I'm already like thinking about other things for future and then's related to that.
Okay, what you got?
So mine are videos, like the original.
Just videos.
Just videos. The original or kind of old school YouTube videos, even before there was a YouTube, like we would share videos around.
Yeah.
So the first one that comes to mind is, okay, so this is the earth.
Okay, so
that is a pretty sweet earth, you might say. Round.
Robin has the whole thing memorized.
Yes.
I will say that when you first said this, do you know this video? I was like, I have no idea what you're talking about. Then when you made me watch it, it came back to me. Yeah. But it is not burned in my brain as much as it is in yours.
I just quote it all the time. If somebody's like, oh, okay, so I'll be like, okay, so.
Yeah, you do.
And then, motherland. We used to say that so much. And then the other one, oh, but I'm lit tired.
Lit tired.
Okay, have a nap. Zim fires, zim missiles. Like, it's just so quotable. Righto. So that's one. And then this one I don't think is as common. I don't know if it was just amongst my friend group, but badger, 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 mushroom, mushroom, snake. No,
but that made me think of the Harry Potter one where it's like, Ron Weasley.
Oh, yeah.
But it's not the same thing, but that's what it made me think of when you started singing it. Okay.
In high school, my little choir friends and I used to always watch Rejected cartoons, which is the 9-minute long one where they're like, my anus is bleeding.
Oh my God. No. Robin.
Tuesday's coming. Did you bring a hat? Did you bring a coat? I'm living a giant bucket. My spoon's too big. No.
Literally
my anus is bleeding.
Can you stop saying my anus is bleeding?
Yes.
So please.
It's horrible. And then you ever had Bailey's out of a shoe before? It's creamy.
Nope.
Old Greg?
No, Old Greg. No, I don't know what that is.
That was from a show, like a sketch show that I can't think of right now. Some people out there are going to be like, oh my God, Old Greg. Let's see. What was another one? Oh, drinking out of cups.
Drinking out of cups.
Yeah, Johnny Walkway. Walk me to the door. Fuck you.
Yep.
Seashell, sea hill.
Yeah, that one I definitely remember.
Oh my gosh. I used to watch that. Just get high, watch that, and then just laugh and laugh and laugh. We would be crying laughing. Like, anybody new came over, we're hanging out at someone's house, we'd be like, have you seen this video? And tell the story about some famous creator or director, and he was tripping and locked himself in a closet and recorded that audio and then put that weird talking lizard to the audio.
Oh.
Yeah. So if you're wondering what we're talking about, just look up Drinking Out of Cups.
That one definitely I remember.
Whose chair is this? Not my floor, not my problem. I think that's what it says. Okay, then going back to more old ones, there was one that was audio just before there was even video. We would share around on like LimeWire.
Oh, yes, I do remember LimeWire.
We would share around different audio clips, like prank yankers, people doing prank calls. There was one that was like Sensimilla Street. Can you tell me how to get to Sensimilla Street? Anyway.
Nope.
I guess that has something to do with weed. I can't remember.
Okay.
And then peanut butter jelly time. Peanut butter jelly time. Peanut butter jelly. Peanut butter jelly. Peanut butter jelly with a baseball bat. So there's that one.
Way out. Oh, there you go. There you go. Yeah, I know that one.
And then somebody reminded me of I am a gummy bear.
No idea.
I am a gummy bear. I am a jelly bear. My kids still listen to that one. So
I have no idea what
that one has stood the test of time. This damn mic stand, I'm just going to let it. Okay. So yeah, old school videos. I'm sure I've missed some.
Yeah.
If anybody is listening to this and thinks of some, let me know and I'll bring them up or put it in the comments. But oh my gosh, it was just like a whole culture of what new video is out there that's funny, and we just were obsessed.
I think it was like at the very beginning of my what am I trying to say? You know what I mean? Where it was like, we only had that for a short time.
And then
like,
streaming
and
was
then
a
it
thing.
was exactly. Then everything kind of changed with streaming and social media. So it wasn't like that. But we did have it for a little while. So some of those I remember.
It was like our only form of entertainment for a while there.
Mm-hmm.
All right, that's all I got.
All right. You want to take it to the now?
Let's do it.
Okay, so I saw Anne Hathaway was doing one of those interviews where they play back like her in her roles and she like comments on it and she like remembers it, reminisces on it. She was watching herself in Princess Diaries.
Yeah.
And she was like, I am just like, she was like smiling and loving it. And she was like, I'm just so proud that I had this role and that I did this role. And I was like, oh my God.
That's so sweet.
And it like melted my heart because again, it's a silly thing. It's a silly movie, but like in my brain, it is an iconic.
It definitely is.
Iconic movie. And I feel like not just for my age, but for it kind of spans across that like Princess Diaries is the shit.
Yeah.
And always has been the shit. And for her to like look back on it and think of it so fondly and say she was proud to be in that role, it just makes me so happy.
Yeah.
I love it.
Good for her. I also saw something in the news about how she like attributes Christopher Nolan to saving her like career or like bringing her out of a funk and like restoring her faith in herself as a director. I'm not sure which of her movies he directed.
Go with Batman.
Batman.
Because she's Catwoman.
That's right, because that
the
was
Dark Knight Rises.
Because that was probably at that point in time where she was getting a lot of hate on the internet. Like just in general, there was a general consensus that like we didn't like Anne Hathaway, and then he made her Catwoman, which was an odd choice.
Right. I feel like I remember it getting announced that she was going to be Catwoman in The Dark Knight Rises, and everyone was kind of like, "Why?"
Like Anne Hathaway?
Yeah,
yeah. So
she did a great job.
Mm-hmm.
Love that movie.
She did.
It's so good.
And look at her now out there dancing and
she's so
calma, calma.
She's so
calma,
cute.
Calma. You know, with the paparazzi.
Yeah, sure, Robin. Sure.
All the little girls in Italy trying to take a picture with her, and she was just going calma, calma.
Oh, cute.
Calma, calma.
She's just so cute, and
so
it was
cute.
just awesome to watch her like look back on that one, especially that one, and think of it fondly.
For sure. Okay, what else? Oh, okay, Bachelor finale.
Yes.
So I just happened to notice that it was on. I thought, I'm just going to watch some cable television. So I go to Guide, and it had already started, but it wasn't that far in.
Yeah.
And so I was texting you that I was watching the Bachelor finale, and it was just amazing.
Yeah, so we didn't, go in the rabbit hole that we did for Love is Blind and Traitors with it.
Yeah.
But I always keep up, and I watch some episodes here and there. Like when I go home to my parents, they do a Bachelor night. And so if I'm there, like on a Monday, I'll go watch it with my mom and my friends and their moms. And so I've watched like several episodes throughout this season. And then we, of course, the podcast we listen to always recaps it and has the people on.
And we watched The Golden Bachelor. We recapped that too.
We did. And so this season, I felt like I had a pretty good handle on everything. And I did watch a few episodes here and there. And I didn't sit down and watch the whole finale, but I did go back and watch a few parts of it. I saw a lot of clips online, listened to some recaps and stuff. So
it was so good.
So good. So cute. I mean, Joey is just the cute.
He's so good.
No, he's so cute. Like I find him so cute and like attractive, not just in the way he looks, but in the way he is.
Yeah.
Carries himself.
I was explaining it to Nate because Nate came in when I was watching it. And I was like, I care about this more than I normally would, not just because the chicks were there.
Well, of course.
They got to go. But that he is known in the public eye and just amongst, interviewers and things like that as just being a truly, genuinely kind, good human. And we haven't seen that very much on The Bachelor, if at all. So he's kind of being, his reputation now is that he's like the best Bachelor ever, and this might be the best season ever. And they did a couple of teasers that made it seem like perhaps he ends up with no one at the end.
Well, yeah, the teaser was, you've never seen a Bachelor season end this way before, which we've never seen it end with literally you have no one at the end. Like, no one proposed to you, or you sent them both home.
Some shot of him riding away by himself.
He was crying.
Some point in time, so who knows what they pulled that from. But what they meant is that the person who he didn't end up choosing out of the final two realized it And she, went to the room of the other girl and they talked about it.
Mm-hmm.
They rode to the finale together, to the final rose together, which has never happened.
Mm-hmm.
So you're like, oh my God, what's going to happen here? And so, for example, in Golden Bachelor, she realizes that it's not her and he goes back and breaks up with her before the final rose. But this chick, Daisy, took it all the way to that moment and even, and said to him like some very nice things. And then she's like, I know it's not me. So that took a lot of courage, I thought, for her to go
she
all the way there.
She crushed it.
Yeah.
I mean, I always liked her throughout the season, and she came in with like a really hard story. She lost her hearing. She has cochlear implants at a young age. And then I just think she carried herself so well up until the end, and especially the way she handled it. And then where she just knew in her gut that it wasn't right. And she had that conversation. And like you said, she said really sweet things to him. She was like, I love you, but I know it's not me.
Yeah.
So I need to walk out on my own.
Yep. And he was like, oh, let me walk you out. And she's like, no.
No, I need to do it myself. And then she went and talked to Kelsey, the winner, and said, like, your mom's looking down on you and she's proud of you.
Yeah.
And because Kelsey had lost her mom. And she's just like, I'm here for you. Like, they're really close. And we have never seen that before either. Like, we've never seen you go down there and you say it's not you and whatever. But we've also never seen them go together in the final limo and support each other like that.
Yeah.
Like, there's always been women supporting women on the show, but never to this extent did we see it, at least.
And for Daisy to walk back out and like hug Kelsey, at that point in time, Kelsey knows it's her. She already kind of knew, but that's not really the format. The format is that they each show up separately. And we as the audience don't know.
You have no freaking clue.
They don't know what they're walking into. So even though it kind of played out like that, it just felt really wholesome. It felt really good, really heartwarming.
So sweet.
And they're so cute. And she said yes. And
she's precious. He's precious.
Yeah.
Wishing them all the best.
Happy for them. And then they kind of teased a little bit like Daisy was going to be
which everyone wanted Daisy, which is the runner-up, or Maria, who was the hottie Latina with a spicy personality, to be the Bachelorette.
Yeah.
Turns out neither of them.
Nope.
It's Jen, who was in the top 5. But she just didn't get a lot of airtime this season.
Yeah, I don't think many people saw that one coming. Because they wanted it to be Daisy or Maria, she didn't get the best reception. I think people were really surprised.
Yeah.
And I said it when she came out. I was like, oh, wow, this has got to be the first Asian American Bachelorette. And then she said it. And I was like, see, Sawyer? Because Sawyer's in there too. I was like, I know things. Yep. And she, she's got a little bit of a different type of personality than your typical kind of Bachelorette. Yep. A little zany. I don't know.
Yeah.
So mixed reviews on that, but I think it was just in the moment. I think in general, people are excited.
Expectation of one or the other, and it was complete out of left field because it was neither of them.
Yeah. So it felt a little bad for her, but I think overall, like once that moment passes, in general, people are happy to see her as the Bachelorette. And
they're still going to watch.
Yeah,
it doesn't really matter who they pick. Everyone's still going to watch.
True.
So we'll see how that season plays out.
Maybe I'll watch.
Maybe we'll watch. Maybe we'll do like we did this where we talked about it a couple times throughout when something big happened and we talk about the ending. But yeah, really happy for Joey and Kelsey. They're cutie pies, both of them. Yeah. And we shall see.
Yeah. And then we have one last topic that everybody's talking about.
Oh, yeah.
And
wait, before we get into the downer one, can we do my last happy one real quick? It's very quick.
Yep.
It's very quick. I just think it is the cutest thing ever. And my little High School Musical heart is just pumping because Vanessa Hudgens and Ashley Tisdale are both pregnant at the same time.
That's sweet.
And it's the cutest thing ever, which we already knew Vanessa was pregnant. That was announced a few months ago.
Because she's been everywhere.
Yeah, and she was on the red carpet with her little bump, looking good, looking cute. But now Ashley Tisdale announced that she is pregnant. And the fact that they're both pregnant
so sweet.
At the same time, and they're both friends still, and it just... my little High School Musical heart, which does nothing for Robin, but maybe it will in the future.
And it does nothing for me on that aspect, but I did listen to an interview with her. I don't remember which podcast it was, where she was talking about, her husband, and she was talking about her journey, and then her really getting a lot out of like scents. And so she created the Frenchie for Target. And so I have a couple of her products. I was like, okay, I'm really curious now. Just the way she talked about it made me really curious to go buy them. So I've bought them as gifts, and I think she's doing really well for herself with that. So super happy to hear that she's now pregnant.
Yeah, I hadn't used her Frenchie before until my for my 30th, Carly, Shelby, and Melanie got me that big basket of 30 of my favorite things or 30 of the best things.
Yeah.
And there were a couple Frenchy things in there. And
they're great.
They smell delish.
Yeah, they smell amazing.
So I'm loving that.
So good for them.
Yeah.
Okay. Now the downer part.
And to the downer.
So this whole situation that's been unfolding with Diddy, otherwise known as Sean Combs.
Otherwise known as P. Diddy.
Puff Daddy.
All the things.
Yep. And has been subject to both of his homes, or two of his homes, I should say, in LA and Miami, were raided on Monday, taking out all kinds of hardware, computers, guns.
Yeah.
And a basketball player kid was arrested for being his drug mule. And there's a whole other load of allegations that are way darker than everything I just listed.
Yeah. What the real big crazy one is, it's tied to a sex trafficking ring, pedophilia ring.
Wild.
Which is, my stomach literally just started hurting as I said it. Absolutely awful. And I'm like, okay, he's like one of the leaders in that industry. So
if it's him, who else is it?
That's what I'm saying.
Like, there's no way it's just him. We're going to hear a lot more A-list, B-list.
Yeah, big names are about to start dropping, which is terrifying because you idolize these people for years and years and years. Yep. And then when you find out that they're awful humans, it's a hard pill to swallow. And I have a feeling we're about to be feeling that way about several people because, like you said, there's no way it's just him.
And we've talked about it before, just like it's very hard to find good people in Hollywood and in the music industry. So while it shouldn't be a surprise, when you hear sex trafficking, it's a gut punch for sure.
Yeah.
And then he's had, I think, 4 lawsuits against him around sexual assault.
Yep.
There's been people talking, sources talking to reporters about, I worked for J-Lo, but anytime that he was around, it was like we worked for him. He only saw females fall into one or two camps. He either wanted to F you or he didn't, and you wanted to be one that he didn't.
Oh.
You wanted, because if you were in the one where he didn't want to F you, he just bossed you around. But if he did want to, he was a creep. He would touch you. He would say things. He would just be super inappropriate and creepy.
Yeah.
And treat them like garbage, regardless.
Yeah. And as this has come out, these old clips are resurfacing of like different people doing interviews where they're asked about him or they talk about him. Like, I saw, I think Dave Chappelle made like a couple of comments about him in the past. 50 Cent has made some comments about him in the past. But again, these things get swept under the rug or not a lot of people see them.
Yeah.
But then when something comes out like this, they're like, look at all the warnings that people have been giving over the years that got swept under the rug. And until it's something big like this, nothing's really taken seriously.
Yeah.
And so that's sad in itself that I feel like that happens a lot. Like there's warnings out there. There's little things that get leaked, but they get
just think,
hushed. Right. Oh, it's nothing. Or it gets pushed, hush, hush. Or we didn't really see anything about it. And then they all come out when something like this happens.
There's a reason that they have PR people, and there's a reason those people make a ton of money.
Yep.
And it's like, how do you sleep at night?
I don't know. So I think this is an ongoing investigation. I don't think this is even close to over because I feel like more stuff's going to come out about him and about others, and it's going to be rough.
Yeah.
So
for sure.
We shall see what happens with that.
We'll be staying in the know on that. And if there's any big things that we need to talk about, we will. Otherwise, I would be happy not to talk about that again.
I would agree with that.
Okay.
So now we're going to take it to our new segment. Watch it, weirdo.
All right. So my Watch It Weirdo was Lizzie McGuire Movie. And I have a ton of notes.
And I have some as well. So
okay, good.
Pulling out mine.
So watched it with Sawyer. She was definitely hooked from the first scene.
Oh, good. That makes me happy.
The first scene was a little ominous because the brother was filming the blackmail video. And so she was like, is this going to be scary? I was like, I don't think so.
I actually totally forgot that it started like that.
Yeah. So the first song that came on was not the kind
Tide
of girl.
is high, but I'm holding on.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be your number one. Mm-hmm.
So Sawyer was singing along, and I was like, how do you know this song? Because, of course, I know that song.
Yeah.
And she goes, because of the YouTubes.
Because of the YouTubes. Also, I want to say, like, I was not required to rewatch this, but I got so excited that you were going to watch it that I was like, shit, I've got to rewatch it now. So I rewatched as well.
Yep, good. So Sawyer was very confused by this whole plot. And I was too. Like, they just get to go to Rome.
Yep.
With one chaperone.
One chaperone. I mean, this is an old movie when times were simpler, Robin.
Like the summer before high school, everyone just goes to Rome for 2 weeks for free, probably.
Oh, yeah, totally.
So, yeah. So that happened. And then I kind of was like half paying attention at this point in time, but I think she made a wish. And then there was a hunky Italian guy that just showed up.
She threw in the Trevi fountain. She threw a coin in the Trevi fountain with a wish, and then it shows Paolo.
And then Paolo shows up, and I was just like, okay, got it. I'm
clocking in. Yep.
Picking up what they're putting down. I love Miss Ungermeyer, that actress.
Hilarious.
She's been in so many things.
She's so good at what she does in those roles. Like, she just nails it.
She's a great character actress. She was, or she is, I guess, Susie in Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. Do you watch that?
I have not.
It's really cute. It's by the same creators as Gilmore Girls.
Oh,
so it's got that same like really fast. But yeah, she's wonderful. Then I wrote down, she lip sings. Oh, how convenient. And she's gone. So I bet she doesn't show up and ruin everything. Nope. Which again, I didn't love the age gap for their age. Like, I know being 17 and 14 is not that far apart, but she's going into high school. That would mean that he's a senior in high school. So I was just a little skeezed out by that.
Weird. But when you're watching it as a kid, you don't even, like, that doesn't even clock in your brain. Like, you're just like, oh, Lizzie with the cute Italian guy. Like, it's not even, but totally watching it as an adult, you're like, that's kind of weird.
Yep. And then the doppelganger aspect, I feel like was a very popular trope. I had to explain to Sawyer what the word trope meant. And I was like, this is just like you look alike with someone, or they're your long lost twin, or y'all can swap places. Like a lot of kind of twin or doppelganger plots back then. I wrote down this little blonde girl with the bangs who's friends with her little brother is super annoying, and I hate her very much.
Oh.
And then in all caps, why not take a crazy chance? Why not do a crazy dance?
Always dress in yellow when you want to dress in gold. I can sing that whole song.
Yep. So
I love that song.
I was jamming out. I wrote OMG. That's from this movie. Okay. A couple more thoughts. Why isn't she just wearing a disguise? She's out here just getting photographed by the paparazzi, showing up on covers of magazines. It's like, maybe throw on a hat, throw on some sunglasses.
Well, then she was doing it on purpose because she was trying to be Isabella.
Right.
But at one point.
Maybe a little bit in between. Throw a hat on.
Sure.
I don't know. Also, I said no one notices that she's got an American accent, which then they like kind of throw in an excuse later.
She's working on her English.
She's working on her English. They didn't say that right away, though.
Okay. Like, God, Robin was picking this apart. Yes. I thought you were watching it for the joy of it.
I loved it. I loved it. But also, why is everyone wearing a headset? Just in every scene where they could throw a headset on someone. Principal Ungermeyer was the tour guide, because that makes sense. You wouldn't hire, someone from Rome. And she's just wearing a headset, talking to the small group of people in front of her. Like, where's the other end of that playing?
Never even crossed my mind.
Someone just said, give that woman a headset.
It literally never even crossed my mind, but that's a good point.
Yep. So then she's going in as Isabella to get her makeover. You fix the hair, fix the eyebrows, fix the lips. I wrote new favorite quote.
So good. So good.
And then I said, but they didn't quite deliver. Like, her eyebrows look the same. Oh, they just braided her hair, put a few little small braids in there, and that's her new hair. Lips look the same. But sure. Okay. Sure. And then I wrote sachet. Shantae. Was that a thing?
Yeah. So when she's trying on all the outfits for the show, they're trying to figure out what she's going to wear on stage. And she's doing the fashion show, and that song is playing.
But, like, was that a thing, like, anywhere else? Or was it just that scene in that movie?
The song?
Yeah.
I only know that song from the movie. And as soon as it came on, I was singing it every word.
I just feel like we said that a lot. And I didn't know that if it was a thing or if it was a thing from that.
I only know it from that movie.
Okay. Well, good to know.
And that's one of my favorite parts that I hadn't watched this in years, and that part's burned in my brain. Like, I always remember her doing the fashion show.
Totally.
And the freaking igloo costume.
And they pump her up full of air.
Yes, like, that's burned in my brain.
Yeah, and then she's got
the goth one where she's got, like, the black lipstick. Like, all of that burned in my brain.
That was great. The eyebrows in this show, just in this era, the super thin eyebrows. I was like, yes, they're going to redo it. Fix the eyebrows. Like, give her some little light feathering. Nope, exactly the same. And then plot twist, they ruined his life. Girl power, I guess.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he was conning her.
Totally. But it was a little harsh.
No, they exposed him for not being able to sing when he was acting like she had to lip sync.
Right.
How are you on his side right now?
I'm not on his side. I just didn't see that coming. I thought it was going to be the typical, she comes back and then like she ruins everything and then, oh no, he has to pick. Like I didn't know. It was a plot twist. I was surprised to see a girl power ending. It reminded me of Victorious, iCarly, that crossover episode that they did where he's cheating on her. And then there's one where
I was a Disney gal, not as
there's
much
one where,
Nickelodeon.
well, I only know it because Sawyer watched it, where the guy uses Victoria for doing all the work on a project. And so she sings a song about him up on stage. So yeah, it was unexpected. I thought it was a little harsh.
Oh, not me. I'm like exposed that he's literally trying to act like she can't sing when he's out here. I forgot.
I was here for it. I just was shocked.
I forgot how bad he is. Like, again, I knew he was bad. Like, it's been years. Then I heard it again when I rewatched it and I was like, oh, that's comically bad.
And just a casual concert at the Coliseum.
I know.
Do you notice how few audience shots they had?
Where
it was
course.
Like the big audience because they didn't have the special effects back then.
No.
But they did a good job. Even I'm impressed now when I think about this movie, Parent Trap, like how they did such a good job of having one actress play two roles.
Yes.
Except for when they show the back of her sometimes and it's the worst wig ever.
Ever. That's the iconic shot from that movie too, is where it's her on stage going like this.
Yeah.
Singing This Is What Dreams Are Made Of in the awful blonde wig.
Yeah.
But it's iconic. It's iconic.
Yeah. So funny. Okay, so we said that at the end of these, we're going to give 3 words to describe it.
Sing to me, Paolo. Sing to me, Paolo.
So 3 words to describe the movie instead of trying to give it a review or a grade, because that's just too hard. I would say silly.
For sure.
Cute. Headsets.
Okay, but like, did you like it?
I liked it.
Okay.
I'd watch it again.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's, an iconic thing. I can sing every word to This Is What Dreams Are Made Of. I can sing every word to Why Not. I can't tell you how many times that me and Sis and Kelby and Bailey put on full performances to this. And one of us would play Lizzie and, like Isabella. And we cannot tell you how many times I
knew all the songs too. So some of them I didn't know that that's why I knew them or that that's why they had become popular. But yeah, I enjoyed it.
Okay, good.
So thank you.
Good.
Okay, your turn.
All right. So Robin gave me Practical Magic, and I watched it because I'm good like that. And let me find my notes. So first thing I'm saying, it's
That's right.
Freaking, how do you say her name? Stockard?
Channing?
I always want to say Stockyard, and it's definitely not Stockyard. Stockard.
Not related to Channing Tatum.
Why would that be? Channing is a first name. Why would Stockard Channing be related to Channing Tatum, Robin?
I Googled it.
In what world?
I Googled it and it came up as like a suggested.
Oh, so you're not alone in the dumb question.
It was like, no, they're not related.
No, they have zero relation because that makes zero sense.
Maybe the internet was confused like me, or maybe people were Googling it to see if he was named after her last name. I don't know.
Okay, Robin.
I got nothing.
That's great. No, they're not related. That's great.
Yeah.
Anyway, I was very excited because it's freaking Rizzo. I only know her from Grease.
Yeah.
And Grease is another movie that's burned in my brain. So that made me very happy. Have to say this, just Sandra Bullock just does it for me.
Yeah.
Like you were talking about it when you were talking about it, you were talking about Nicole Kidman. Which amazing, beautiful, stunning, gorgeous, all the things. Sandra Bullock just does it for me. But her in those jean shorts and her little peasant top with the freaking boots. I was like, nah, it doesn't get better than that.
They just had to make it very like the juxtaposition of the two sisters style. It's like, well, she's a mom, so denim.
Oh, but she just pulls everything off.
Yeah, she's beautiful.
She's beautiful.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was my second note. Okay, her name's Sally in the movie. I have to say this because we talked about my frog era a few times. I named all of my frog stuffed animals Sally.
Why?
I don't know. I had this obsession with the name Sally.
Sally?
So literally all my stuffed animal frogs were named Sally.
Did you have any other Sally references like Sally?
Can't think of it. Can't think of one thing that it came from.
I can't think of one either.
But I had an obsession with the name Sally.
Little Sally Walker walking down the street. That's all I got.
Okay. Anyway, just a fun fact.
Full circle.
Fun fact. Okay. The Faith Hill thing, amazing. I was like, yes. And then I'm 15 minutes into this movie and I'm tearing up already.
Yeah.
When, spoiler alert, her first husband dies.
Yeah.
I was like, it's 15 minutes in, and I literally have tears in my eyes. What the heck?
I did tell you.
Well, I knew it was going to, but I didn't know it was going to happen so quickly.
Yeah.
Like, it felt so like, oh my God, I just started this movie. When it happened, I literally paused to see how long I had been watching. It was like 15 minutes and some change.
I got a lot of movie left to.
I was like, oh my God, that was quick. Okay. And then I wrote down the hang on to your husbands girls, because that scene was hilarious. So good. And it was so good the way she delivered it. Yep. The whole thing was great. I want midnight margaritas.
Yes.
I want to adopt.
Don't we all?
I want to adopt the midnight margaritas trend.
Yes. And then play the song.
Can you and I do that one night?
Yes.
Just because we need to do it.
And then film the podcast.
And film the podcast after midnight, because Lord knows what we'd be saying on that episode. I loved that. Stevie Nicks at the end. Okay. So like at the end, that song plays. I was like, okay, I know that's Stevie Nicks' voice. Yeah. Like, I don't know the song off the top of my head, but I was like, that's flipping Stevie Nicks. So I looked it up to double check. It was.
Great
obviously,
soundtrack.
Yeah, great soundtrack. Yeah. I knew they were going to, get together and he was going to come back and all that. But it was still cute when it happened. Yeah. But that's how I like my movies. I like them to tie it up in a bow and it be all happy and lovey. So
Didn't you love the scene when she did the spell? Do you understand why I had to say it in that voice?
When she was a little girl?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was very cute.
So sweet.
It was very cute. And her kids were cute when he was flipping the pancakes and like they were getting all excited. That's just so cute. So I think I wrote down so cute 5 times in my notes.
It's so cute. I'm so glad you liked it.
Yeah, so many good moments. I really did like it. So my 3 words were cute, as I just said, witchy,
nice,
and Rizzo.
Love it.
Has to be Rizzo because it's the first note that I wrote down in all caps because it got me so excited. So
yay.
I really liked it.
Okay, this is fun.
Okay, Watch It Weirdo, segment 1, done.
Okay.
And we both liked. What's going to happen when we give one we don't like?
That'll be interesting.
Okay, so do you have the next one for me?
Yes, and I think you said you haven't watched this, but I have a backup.
Okay.
When Harry Met Sally.
Yeah, I've seen clips, but I've never sat down and watched it, so that's a great one.
Yeah.
When Harry Met Sally.
Such a great rom-com.
Okay, love rom-coms.
Or should I sign you the French one?
No, let's do that one because now you got me excited for it.
Okay, it's so cute.
Okay, great. So the one I have for you is Big Fat Liar.
Okay.
Paul Giamatti, I'll just give you this.
I had to Google it. So she sent me a super long list, just a little behind the scenes, breaking the fourth wall, just to make sure that I hadn't seen it.
I was like, so I don't want to like name 5 and she's seen them all. Like
I had only seen maybe 10 on that list of like 50.
Yep.
And that one was one where I was like, have I? And so I just Googled it real quick and all I looked at like was the images on it. And I just saw a blue Paul Giamatti. And I was like, I definitely would have remembered seeing this one.
You would remember. So Paul Giamatti, Frankie Muniz, and Amanda Bynes.
Yeah.
That's all you need to know about.
Iconic.
And there's one blue Paul Giamatti scene that everyone knows. If you say Big Fat Liar and you've seen it, you think of this scene.
Okay.
So just wait. It's going to be, you're going to love it. I can't wait because I'm going to rewatch it too because I can't help myself.
Yeah.
But I'm pumped that you're going to watch it.
I've seen When Harry Met Sally so many times. It's kind of sick, but I probably will watch it again this week.
You don't have to.
No, I love it so much.
It's just going to be hard for me on most of these to not want to go rewatch myself.
Yeah.
Because they just excite the shit out of me. So
that's fine. All
that's
right.
Great. Okay.
Can't wait to watch it, weirdo.
Okay, let's watch it, weirdo. Okay, so now we're going to actual recs. Okay, my rec. We've talked about the challenge every which way that we can, and we shall continue because my rec is the challenge home turf.
Okay.
So it's an 8-part documentary series on YouTube, just on YouTube on the challenge channel.
Yeah.
And they do like hometowns growing up behind the scenes of they're looking at 8 iconic challenge players.
Wow.
Episode 1 is CT, of course, because why wouldn't it be?
Of course.
That's the only one I've watched so far.
Is it new?
It's new.
Cool.
I don't even think all the episodes are out yet. I think only 5 are out.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited.
Yeah, so I've watched the CT one. Nanners is on there. Tori, Devin, Darrell.
Nice.
So what I like too is it's a mix of the old school people and some new people. And I've watched all the eras of the challenge.
Yeah.
But if you haven't, you get a mix of both, which is cool.
That's a cool
concept.
They
do it's like an hour each one, and they show where they grew up, and it's them doing interviews and different people from their lives and different people talking about them, how they got onto the challenge or their original show. Like CT tells the story of, oh my God, you'll die when you watch his episode of like how this worked out for him, how he happened to get on the real world. Like it's just crazy. And just like seeing him talk about his family and where he grew up and stuff is very cool. So That's my rec. It's on YouTube. Anyone can watch it.
I'm
Challenge
excited.
Home Turf.
I'm going to watch it tonight.
Nice.
Mine is kind of a combo, so I haven't really talked about these shows. But if you've been wondering about Vanderpump Rules or Summer House, I would recommend those. You can get started with the most recent season of both. You don't have to have watched any of them.
Would you recommend starting with the most recent season, or would you recommend starting at the beginning or in the middle? Or what do you think?
I wouldn't start at the beginning of VPR because there's just too many. There's too many seasons. Okay. This is season 11. And then you might really hate these people. So honestly, for Vanderpump Rules, you could start with the last season, season 10.
Got it.
Where the Scandival happens. Mm-hmm. And you'll get enough context clues, and you've probably seen some stuff in the news anyway. So it's just great, mindless television.
What about Summer House?
Summer House, you could start from the beginning. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
Or even just, I didn't really watch last season. Like I kind of did, kind of didn't. But that's a fun one to watch from the beginning, or watch this season and then go back and watch. It doesn't really, these kind of shows, it just doesn't really matter.
Okay.
And then they are doing a spinoff of Vanderpump Rules called The Valley with some of the classic characters that are no longer on Vanderpump Rules. So Jax Taylor, Brittany Cartwright, Kristen Doty are like staples on it. And then they have, even in just the first episode, they had Sheena Shea and Lala Kent on there, who are still on VPR. Okay. They probably should be on The Valley, but it's like, oh, we got married and moved to The Valley. And everybody thought we didn't want Jax Taylor back on our screens. We want Jax Taylor on our screens. It's very entertaining. They did that thing where he kind of came on at the end of the episode of Vanderpump Rules, and then it just went right into The Valley without even a commercial break. How they did with Real Housewives of Beverly Hills going into Vanderpump Rules with Sheena Shea and her tattoo. It's all happening. Very iconic moment. So if you just want some mindless reality shows, even if you are adverse to the Bravo universe, don't associate these shows with the Real Housewives. They're very different.
Okay.
It's very much just easy. Like people that I know that watch Bravo that don't watch the Housewives, they'll watch like just Vanderpump or just Summer House, and they love it.
Got it.
So that would be my rec, is anyone or a mixture of those 3 shows.
Love it.
Yeah.
Okay, I think that's all we got.
I think that's all we have for this week. So thanks everyone for watching and for listening.
Follow us. Check us out on all the things. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Instagram, TikTok.
Yep, and make sure to leave us a review. Leave some stuff in the comments. The engagement really helps, and we love to hear from y'all.
Yeah, and if you have any movies, like my peeps out there, if y'all have any movies that you're like, oh my God, Robin needs to watch this from our childhood or iconic growing up, whatever, comment, send them or just send them to me directly.
No, go to YouTube and leave it as a comment.
Leave it as a comment on YouTube. I'm sorry.
Please. Thank you.
And then same for Robin's peeps. If y'all got anything, leave a little comment.
Let us know, and we will talk to y'all next week.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.